Hi guys, welcome again. This time we'll be looking at a 6-player. I know I haven't finished all the 5-player from the tournament, but maybe I'll do them later. I thought we will jump to the 6-player. So this is the group of death with me, Iguana, Meeple, among other players who are in this one. So should be pretty interesting, and I wanted to use the first 2 games to give you an example of a strategic example. Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. So enjoy this one and see you at the table. And welcome to the game. So, 6-player. A lot of things will change in 6-player. Jump from 5 to 6 maybe is not that impressive, but it's still a lot of changes. So, additional lighthouse, for example, additional chamber of commerce, not a lot of reds apart from maybe H2, not a lot more reds, I would say. And the greens are really weird, but maybe I can show you with some of the games later, or maybe even here. So this game is pretty straightforward apart from one choice, but I really think that with like this game and the next game from my group, I can show you some strategic principles that maybe you can think of or just apply to your games, because this is the mistake that I see the most often in those type of games. So let's meet the players in our group. So obviously you have me, you have Iguana, 2-time arena champion, you have Meeple here, who at the time was leading the arena board for 3-player, I think, and generally just a player who always does good. So Iguana from France, Meeple from USA, Flopino from France, Legal Lion from France, and Blue Mutant, I believe, from Canada. So also speaking French. As you can see, the table is c'est magnifique, as the French would say, and me from Poland, obviously. So let's just talk about Alexandria and about strategy here. So Alexandria gets a little bit safer, I would say. That the higher the player count, Alexandria generally just gets better. I think she is the best, or it's the best at 7 players, so 6-player not far behind. Obviously you can still have miserable games, but you will have decent games much more often. And this is potentially green, this is potentially green, this is potentially green, so very interesting. Giza, not that great at red. Like the ability to play red for Giza is worse the higher you go with the player count. Olympia, on the other hand, just the other way around. It just gets better and better for red for Olympia. So we should have a nice red synergy here that puts Babylon kinda in the green, but you know, we'll see what happens. So first hand, and this is something that's very unique for a 6-player. You will have a choice between duels, and you really need to think it through, because it might make or break your game. And things to look for is like, what do you want to have? Obviously for me, Forest Cave looks just amazing, given that I have this stage, and all the reds in the H2 require those two, so that's just amazing, combined with my first stage. But for example, if I was on the A side, I should probably choose Timberyard here, even though Forest Cave is still amazing for the A side. Also, like, Timberyard is better because maybe both Giza and Babylon will buy the stone from me. Olympia would like Babylon to play the Timberyard as well, so that's something to keep in mind. Generally, this is a decision point usually, and I'll just decided to grab Forest Cave here. And also, all the cards that you see, you will never see them again unless you get a double. So here going green, I kind of like that. I get another duel, which is pretty nice for me. Here, barracks, grabbing early reds are quite important, they are quite rare, so by putting yourself in the red, you give a strong signal to the other players. I finally got Claypool, and I got money from the stockade, so this was just amazing for me. I can build my first stage now. Here, this is the decision point, and I want you to pause the game and think about what would you like to do. I think we just passed how do you call it, apothecary to Babylon. So what should we do here? And I'll just briefly present the options before I tell you what I choose. So we can play the stone pit, that will give us access to free stone. So that is potential for aqueduct and potential for walls. We can, of course, play the scriptorium, but that's kind of a weak option. We can hide the scriptorium to prevent green from getting too serious, or we can hide stone pit, or we can throw, but I guess that's also pretty bad. So out of all of these options, think about, and I'll just give you my reasoning. So here I decided to hide the stone pit. I'm purposefully not touching the scriptorium. I want this guy to be in green. And the reason for that is, maybe I can zoom it out a little bit for you guys. So we have one guy in green here. If we have another guy in green competing with him, then both of them are significantly worse. And this is the crazy part that I told you in a 5-player video. In 5-player, there can be 2 greens and they can do amazing even next to each other. But in 6-player, if there are 2 greens, suddenly they are worse, even though there is more green in the pool. And you're like, this does not make any sense. And the reason for that is that there are more hands, so the green can be more unevenly spread out, and it's much harder for the green players to keep up with the green economy. By green economy, I mean free chains and stuff that you can just build off really easy. In 6-player, they will be challenged for like not having proper economy much more frequently. Yeah, words are hard in English sometimes. And so here I want this guy in green. Also, given that I might face Giza, although he doesn't, Iguana here doesn't have like the resources needed to play for red, I would say. So I'm much better prepared and I have priority. So I should win red easily, but I still don't want this guy to like race me. Of course, this can bite me in the future. This is like this is a little risky, and I'm putting a green guy next to me on the right side, which is worse than it would have been the other way. When it comes to third age, there is not that many cards that give you points in 6 players. So being before green guy really helps. And one of the green guys is here and the other one is here. So it's not terrible for me, and it's still better than there are 2 green guys. As you will see when I like show you the full game, it actually comes into play. But it's still better. And this is the concept that I call feeding, like you can see in the title. Probably. So feeding is like when you put some guy into a scenario that you want him to be put into. For example, if this was the third green, I would have hidden it, but it's the second one, so I'm quite okay with that. And the last one, theater or stage, it's safer to go for the theater. So that was a long explanation, but hopefully you get it. This was unexpected, but I don't think he will follow on it. I think he just didn't have anything. So there are 3 guys in green here, and I'm entering H2, so this is just, this is my time to shine. And I open with Caravanserai. There are 3 Caravanserais in 6-player, so the chance is around 50%, I would say. Also, putting this guy in green does one more thing. He is likely to pick, for example, if he opened like school, he's likely to pick school over Caravanserai. So I'm increasing my chances for Caravanserai, which at the moment I don't even need. Like my resources are quite fine, but obviously if it pops into my hand, I will grab it, as there are no reds in this hand, and I'm under no red pressure, to be honest. So here, training ground, obviously. This guy also grabbed Caravanserai, and this guy also grabbed Caravanserai, which makes my resources a little worse, but it's still okay. I'm picking archery range to be safe on the reds, make my mark on the reds so that I don't get any ideas on playing for reds. And as you can see, we are entering what I call a red triangle in 6 players. So I'm in red, I'm in red, I'm in red, and these guys are not in red. Usually, people in the red triangle win, like the coalition of red usually wins. So usually when you are like, when you see this type of thing, you usually want to stop that, but sometimes it's not possible. And with the super high level of play that we see in the tournament, the red like was very dominant in 6 player. This was one of the things that I didn't anticipate, like playing a lot of 6 player in just like pub games. When this is a tournament, red can be very, very dominant. So here I'm just picking one of the green, one of the blues. I think that statue is a little better. And I'll just, fast forward a little bit. Vineyard here. I still need to, because there are not enough picks in third age, I need to have my stage here, and I'm just hiding here. Overall, very, very happy with how this game was going. The Greens actually he did play library, so that was kind of annoying for them, I guess. But we are part of the Green Coalition, we have everything. This hand is not amazing. Lighthouse or Craftsman can be considered. I chose Craftsman because there are 2 lighthouses, but I can see it going both ways, to be honest. But we make up for it with the Palace here. And this third age like this can be just picking the cards that are good for you. Here, Senate. This is just, easy pick. But I was instantly regretting it because there is another Senate. But I can Haven from this one. There is just one more decision to be made because we cannot pass the double red here because he would just build double red and that would be horrendous. But we don't want Chamber to get to him as well, but still we have to bury red here. And we are just praying that there is something on the last hand. And with some luck, but also we made our luck a little bit because we put this guy in green, we saw that this guy is in green, and Halicarnassus usually will be in green in games like this. So we made our luck with that like not that many people were choosing blue cards from the whole pool. And in the end, I was able to win this one. You'll see right. Yeah, there is a lot of clicking. Obviously, the main factor was cheap red win, but we prepared for that, 8-1. So I got the first place, the second place goes to Meeple, the third to Legal Lion, and the fourth to Blue Mutant here. The fifth to Iguana, put in a very tough position, I'd say, and the surprising sixth was put to Halicarnassus, who I think just overshoot on resources a little bit, just not enough raw power, too much economy. But in the end, a pretty respectable score as well. 54 is not that bad. So that's like one perspective. This is a game where I show you that sometimes like putting someone in a specific place strategically can be very beneficial for you. And I show you, I guess, a counter example in game 2. Welcome to game 2, and we will be looking from the perspective of Meeple as Olympia, put in a tough position here between potential green, I would say, and strong red, usually. It will be hard to form a red coalition in this game, but we'll see. Naturally, it starts with Olympia, maybe Alexandria, also a really good red wonder, and here with Giza, and with the Ephesos and Babylon in green, but Ephesos and A suggests that Legal Lion wants to punch on the red, so we will see how it goes. It all depends on the spread, to be honest, what players are able to choose. This is not in 6 player, and generally in the higher player counts, you need to make what you are dealt. that applies to all player counts, obviously, but the higher it goes, the more important it is. Excavation here, a natural pick, and usually there are not that many cards that we would like to pick, so this hand looks pretty good, I would say. Early red pickup, this is not bad. The second duel is quite nice. Already securing the third stage, sorry. And guard tower should be a decent pickup on this hand. There is a lumberyard. That's also decent. Obviously, we would want maybe a little bit more, but that's okay. So this is a tricky one because we just passed a guard tower, so Rados is likely to get into 2, so this might be bad for us. Marketplace might be decent, and it just enables us to go the caravanserai route for free because we are just 1 gold short of being able to buy the caravanserai even. There is maybe some potential for glassworks. This should pay, but I think, yeah, marketplace is just a safe pickup here, and what most of us would choose here, and I believe he does as well. Very happy with the loom. And the last one, just theater or throw. So this is actually tricky because, like, normally we would throw for caravanserai, but we did pick this one up. So I would imagine maybe theater is a possibility, but also theater is like not great. He's just +2 points versus a throw. So I can see it going either way, to be honest. But I think he throws. And completing the glassworks. Triple for the marketplace. Not a bad first round, but not great as well. So he already selects training grounds. I do agree. But at the same time, white trading grounds, maybe archery range is a little bit more precise because I here maybe I go archery range. Like there is not much that I can choose from this hand. But it's still, I think, a decent pickup. There is a crazy red wave going, so not a lot that we can choose, and this is when the trouble starts. So obviously we cannot pick anything like great from this hand. This is a possibility of bury or throw. I would imagine this is a bury, as we have the money and we do not plan probably on going double stone route. So what do we bury? I think that we shouldn't, like, obviously I'm biased because I'm here. I'm the player that we are passing to, but this is why I'm showing you this game. So here I believe Meeple buries library, and I do believe that might be a small mistake. That's why I'm showing you this game. So basically he's playing against the next guy when he should be playing against the guys that are like further down the line, maybe. So by choosing to bury the library, if I play the vineyard, the cards that gives you the money for browns, I'm most likely to choose dispensary. Oh, on the other hand, if, for example, by some unfortunate mistake, I play archery range here, and he passes me the walls, and iguana here buys something from me, and I have the money to play the walls, suddenly we might be even looking at losing the red despite playing 2 red cards on both sides, which would be a disaster. So I would say, to prevent that, either bury, for example, the dispensary, because if we are playing the dispensary, we are most likely playing iguana here. So we are just, in the end, we are just feeding iguana. So hide the dispensary from Ephesos maybe. That would discourage the Ephesos player for going green, and that would make maybe Ephesos player to go into more of the red route, which is good because then the red wars start here, and we will just have more picks for ourselves. The other way maybe just to be safe, bury the walls, but I wouldn't maybe necessarily advise that. And the last one, just bury the brickyard. With 6 player, double brick might start to be important, but I think he buries the library. But I think it, like, the best way to go about it, for me, is to bury the brickyard, because Alexandria doesn't have the double brick right now. But instead he buries for the library, like buries the library, and it's much harder from there. So here we will pick from 5, 4, 3, 2. So if we pass the lab can make its way to Ephesos. I think he throws the brickyard here. Obviously, really hard position to be in here. I think he got very unlucky with the spread, and maybe strategically. But yeah, we are just analyzing this game to see if something could have been done. And yeah, Dispensary gets picked. We do get Caravanserai, which at the start of the game would have been amazing. Now it's just okay, but it's still a decent pickup here. And here, another berry for library. This one seems obvious, but at the same time, we need to think, can we, like, probably Babylon is one of the wonders that we can actually play against here, so that's good. But at the same time, if he's not enough in green, and by him I mean the Babylon player, which was me in this game, then maybe he starts picking our cards and our game is just miserable. So this is something to keep in mind. I think in this case it was the right choice, but the previous one it wasn't, because Iguana was very happy to receive that brickyard. It saved his game. Like he wouldn't be able to properly play it with those resources. And the last one is a berry as well, which makes us quite miserable, to be honest. And let's look at the third age. So builders would be naturally very good, but again, the luck is not on our side. We are next to Babylon and Rhodos, so this is 2 less than usual. So probably decorators is better, but I don't think it is. I think it should still be builders, because it's just better for the Rhodos player, who can get 9 from it, or like people further down the line could get more from it. So I think it should still be builders. But he disagrees. So here we get potential for Pantheon, which is quite amazing for us. So the first 2 hands are really good. I disagree with that one, to be honest. I would have gone to the gardens into Lighthouse path. Like not Lighthouse here, but gardens, but yeah. So because we haven't played that much red, and we couldn't also capitalize on Ludus, which was very good for Mutant here, but yeah, so is life. So here, Spies is the only one that we can reliably play. He will be on 8, so with Circus and another one, we can punch him to the Red War. So maybe Circus is a possibility, but I don't think so. I would need to count the spread, which I haven't done for this game, but yeah, as you can see, we would still play Castrum and pass him the Circus, so that would have been all in vain. So Gardens here. And the last one is unfortunately a throw, but this will happen a lot in 6-player, just because the spread is so random and there are not enough cards that can be played. You will often just get another red, another green, or stuff like that. He would love another red here, so he's quite unlucky again. But what did happen actually in this game is that we didn't, in the first one you saw me cooperate kinda with Legal Lion. I think it was the Lion. In this one we just fought each other, right? And in the last one I was first and the guy sitting next to me was third. Here Meeple is last and I'm the penultimate player. And our scores are abysmal, I would say. This is whenever you are in 6-player and those high player counts, whenever you bury, you have to look around. You just not only bury for the next guy, and this even applies in 4-player and 3-player. Sometimes you just pass the good cards to this guy, so he can have a good choice. He can have a strategy here. he can maybe like go full green, so you will reap the benefits of him being in green, because being after a green player is obviously excellent. Here, Iguana had an excellent game, but it was mainly due to this brickyard. If it wasn't for that, he would struggle. He would struggle quite a lot, I would say. He is unable to play these, so he gets an awkward picks. So who knows what might happen in this game. And also like the green picks, like if I'm here not picking all the green picks as Babylon, maybe they made its way to Ephesos and maybe he gets cards like Scientist Guilds and stuff like that. That didn't help him much, but maybe help him a little bit. And that's what I wanted to show you with this video. This is 2 games out of 5 that was played in this round. You will see the next one in another video. And there you have it, guys. Please let me know how you liked it, if you agree with my comments about the strategy in games like this. Maybe I was wrong, maybe I was right. Please let me know. Also, if you enjoyed this one, please leave a like, and if you loved this one, please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you are already subscribed, as usual, thank you for being an excellent subscriber. So the next video next week will be probably finishing this group, and see you in a bit. Bye.